Welcome back. We continue the conversation on Detroit's impact on the March on Washington and Dr. Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream speech in Detroit before it was made, of course, famous at Lincoln Memorial in D.C. Joining us now is Yolanda Jack, the Community Engagement Manager at the Wright. We appreciate you joining us tonight.
Thank you very much.
We heard from Dr. Martin Luther King's daughter-in-law and what she was saying about the impact and how special of a place Detroit is, not only on the civil rights movement, but really on the speech. And Dr. Martin Luther King, can you put in perspective just what Detroit means to all of this?
Well, there was a significant level of freedom-seeking and liberation work in the city of Detroit for centuries, from the Underground Railroad all the way up through the civil rights movement. So when it came to coming up with issues or addressing issues that impacted people of the community, citizens of the city of Detroit were not shy to that. So the fact that there were hundreds of thousands of people ready to march and gather and speak to the issues of housing and education, job opportunities. These were issues that were serious in the city of Detroit. Being able to work and afford a way of living was not easy for people of African descent, especially during a situation of racism and segregation and being just denied opportunities flat out. Understanding that and needing an opportunity to speak to it, having an opportunity to galvanize here in Detroit prior to the March on Washington was an amazing and awesome opportunity.
Yeah, 60 years ago, the March on Washington, and so do you think at the time people realized just how impactful that would be 60 years later, or do you think it's just impossible to foresee that far into the future?
I believe people wanted change, and they felt that the opportunities to seek it were there. It had been 10 years since the Brown the Board of Education had been passed, and people were frustrated with the slowness, the all-deliberate speed of desegregating schools. It was issues that were plaguing people, and so they wanted to see change, and they were ready to take up nonviolent arms to see those changes, make some opportunities happen.
We've seen a lot of change, a lot of progress. Are you pleased with the progress that has been made over these decades?
Yes and no. Many of the same issues that were plaguing people in the 60s are still plaguing people today.
Why do you think that is?
There are many answers to that question. I don't know that I'm the expert to answer all of them. I think that many of them are political, many of them are systemic, and they are issues that really go back to in the 40s and 50s and 60s when people were striving for opportunities to be equal, to be represented as citizens in the United States of America, in their cities, in their homes. We don't know that we've seen those opportunities really come through to fruition the way that they thought they should be. Dr. King wanted full equality. He didn't want problems of colorism or racism or povertyism being a bridge or a gap for people to have opportunities in the United States of America, and we still see them today.
For all the work you do at the Wright, do you think MLK, Dr. Martin Luther King, would be proud of where we are today? And I know you said on my last question, yes and no, but do you think he'd be proud for the progress that we've made?
I think yes, in many ways there would be some things that we would be able to speak to with confidence and pride, but I think that the issues of war that he spoke to, the issues of poverty that he spoke to, we're still dealing with them worldwide. It's not done. And so we have more work to do globally. He spoke globally, he spoke on a global mindset, and so we have to think about that now.
And what are one or two areas you want to see improve?
I would love to see people understand the significance of what happened 60 years ago, the fact that men and women got together, hundreds of thousands, to say, hey, we want people to live fairly and be treated equally. It wasn't just black people, it was people of every ethnicity coming together to say people should be treated right in America.
Well, thank you so much. Yolanda Jack, the Community Engagement Manager at the Wright. We appreciate you being here.
Thank you very much.